These days, when you finally catch a real discount, it doesn't feel like a miracle. It feels like survival, like a tiny breath at the end of a long, expensive month. In this video, I want to talk to you about a very small rule you can add to those moments. A rule that keeps half of that good feeling for you and quietly turns the other half into something that softens life for other people too. We're going to explore how simply sharing the right kind of information about fair prices, honest places, real discounts can slowly change how stress, care, and support move through your friendships and your city. This is Butterfly Cities, and here we're trying to turn tiny everyday actions into quiet waves that move through our streets, our chats, and our communities. Let me be honest with you again. When you get a good discount, your first thought probably isn't, how can this help someone else? Most of the time, it's much simpler. You see the lower price. You feel that little drop of relief in your chest. You think, okay, this helps, and you carry on with your day. Groceries a bit cheaper. A subscription, finally half price. A transport pass on sale. You don't throw a party. You just feel a tiny bit less alone in the fight with money. And it would be completely normal to stop there. We're taught to treat good deals like treasure, private, rare, something you keep close. You got lucky. You were fast. You knew the right code, the right shop, the right person. But under that, there's a hidden pattern. Most people around you are also tired, also stressed about money, also scrolling through prices wondering, how is this supposed to be normal? Yet everyone is doing this in parallel, side by side, not really talking about it, not really sharing what they find. Money is tight, but talking about money feels uncomfortable. You don't want to sound like you're bragging. Look how smart I am. I got this so cheap. You don't want to sound desperate either. I'm hunting for discounts because I'm struggling. So we keep quiet. And what happens then is this. Information about where life is a little bit softer only travels inside small, closed circles. Certain families, certain friend groups, certain neighborhoods. If you're inside those circles, you hear about the good clinic, the fair mechanic, the cheap place with good food. If you're not, you pay more. You carry more stress. You think, maybe this is just how life is. That's not dramatic. No big explosion. Just a slow, quiet kind of unfairness. Now, here's where the butterfly effect comes in. I want to offer you a very simple rule. It's not a moral rule. It's not about being a good person. It's just a tiny habit you can try on. The rule is this. Every time you get a real, helpful discount, half of the benefit is yours, and half is for sharing. You still keep your money. You still deserve that relief. But you decide, this discount will not die in my wallet. It's going to become a small, shared resource. What does that look like in real life? You're in a group chat with a few friends or cousins. Nothing deep. Memes, updates, everyday stuff. You drop one simple message. Hey, just lowered my internet bill by €15 by switching to provider. If you're paying more than €30, might be worth checking. That's it. No pressure. No, you have to do this. Just a piece of useful information floating through the group. Or, imagine this. You find a dentist who doesn't talk down to you, explains things clearly, and doesn't overcharge. You post in a small community group, sharing in case it helps someone. I went to clinic today. Prices felt fair, and they were respectful and clear about costs. If you've been avoiding the dentist because of money, maybe check if they're covered by your insurance. Again, that's all. You're not exposing your entire financial situation. You're just opening the door a little wider for whoever needs to walk through it. Or you get an email with a discount code that can be used multiple times. You've used it once, you're done. Instead of letting it quietly expire in your inbox, you send it to a friend, a coworker, a group. By the way, this code still works a couple more times if anyone needs cheaper rides, food delivery this week. Tiny actions. Under a minute each. Easy to ignore. Easy to underestimate. But if you keep following that half for me, half for sharing rule, you slowly shift your role in the invisible network around you. You become someone through whom good information moves. Let's make this even clearer. Here's one small concrete action you can start with. Action. Every time you get a real useful discount, tell at least one person 3 things. What you bought, where you got it, why it was actually worth it. No fancy language, no over-explaining, just what, where, why. For example, got a monthly transit pass 20% cheaper through the city's student low-income program. The online form was simple. Or, found a local place with a full, decent meal for under amount. No hidden fees, and they were kind. Or, bought secondhand from this shop app. Prices were fair and the quality was good. If you're trying to save, might be worth a look. Think of it like this. Each discount you get is your personal butterfly. You can keep it in your hand, or let it fly out and maybe touch someone else's day. Over 1 month, maybe you only share 2 or 3 things. Over a year, that might turn into dozens of tiny ripples. Each one is a small act of economic care. Why does that matter? Because money stress never stays only about money. It leaks into everything: sleep, health, patience, relationships. A small saving might mean someone can afford fresh food instead of the absolute cheapest option. Someone can buy a bus ticket to visit a friend they miss. Someone pays 1 bill on time and avoids a late fee that would trap them further. A €10 discount on your screen can feel like nothing. But if 10 people use it, that's €100 staying in your little corner of the world, instead of disappearing upward into a system that doesn't really see you. That's not just a number. That's shared breathing room. But I think there's something even deeper here. Try to remember the last time someone sent you information that genuinely helped you. A cheaper therapist, a fair landlord, a scholarship, a safer ride home. A store where the staff treats you like a human being, not a problem. Do you remember that small feeling in your chest? Oh, someone thought of me. Someone wanted my life to be a bit easier too. That feeling is about belonging. It's the opposite of standing outside a closed door while other people whisper the useful stuff inside. When you share a discount, a fair place, a code, a program, you're saying very quietly, you're not out there alone. Here's something that helped me. Maybe it can help you too. That's dignity. The person doesn't have to come to you and say, I'm struggling. Can you please find something for me? You give them the option without making them expose their pain. You're treating access to helpful information as something normal to share, not a secret advantage to protect. And that changes you too. You stop seeing yourself only as a tired consumer pinned between bills and prices. You start seeing yourself as a connector, someone whose tiny choices make the environment around them a bit softer. You're not just asking, how do I survive this? You're quietly asking, how can this small good thing stretch beyond just me? It's a tiny shift in identity. But tiny shifts are exactly what butterfly effects are made of. I want to be clear about something. You are not responsible for saving the economy. You are not a walking discount machine. You don't have to share every deal. You don't have to talk about anything that feels unsafe or too personal. It's okay to have boundaries. This isn't about becoming an advertisement. And it's definitely not about pretending that discounts fix deep, structural problems. They don't. This is about one small kind of power you do have: the power to move information. In a world where so much helpful information is locked away behind paywalls, algorithms, and private circles, choosing to treat your discounts as tiny community resources is a gentle act of resistance. It's you saying, if something makes life a bit more bearable for me, I won't automatically let it stop at me. Will this end inequality? No. But will it over time make your circles more supported, more informed, less alone? Yes, it can, because habits become culture. One person shares a fair grocery store. Another shares a low-cost, respectful clinic. Someone else shares how they lowered their rent or bills. Slowly, without any big speech, you build a quiet culture of passing things on. And culture changes how a city feels, even if the map looks exactly the same. So maybe, from now on, this is your private rule. When you see that lower number on a screen, when you feel that tiny wave of, "Oh, thank God," you pause, and you think, half of this joy is mine, the other half is for someone else. Then you act on it. One message, one short note, one shared code. Maybe the person ignores it. Maybe they forget. That's okay. But maybe one night, someone is staring at their banking app, heart sinking, shoulders tight, and they remember what you shared. They use that information. They save just enough, and for that month, their world feels a little less harsh. You might never hear about it. You might never know. That's how these butterfly actions usually work. You don't always get to see the wings moving. You just trust that somewhere they do. If you want, you can turn it into a small ritual with us. Whenever you share a useful discount, a fair place, a helpful program, you can name it as your butterfly for the day. You can even share it in the comments like this: "Today's butterfly, what you shared, in your city, country." For example, "Today's butterfly, told my coworker about a cheaper public transit pass in Berlin." "Today's butterfly, shared a low-cost, respectful clinic with a friend in Tehran." "Today's butterfly, posted about an actually affordable second-hand shop in Sao Paulo." Small actions, real effects. You don't have to transform your whole life. You don't have to become a hero. You just take the good that already passes through your hands and let it travel one step further than usual. You let your private relief become a tiny piece of public care. This is Butterfly Cities. Small actions, real effects.